those are some of my favorite scriptures. But then, as I'm wont to say, every verse I read, I go, this must be my new favorite verse. You know, Ruth, she was just such an incredible lady. I had the privilege, and Judy and I had the privilege of knowing her for so many years. And I have so many fond memories of her, but I can't help but share one that we shared with her and Fred, and I forgot the neighbors. What were the name of the neighbors behind them? Who lived behind them?
Which?
The Otts, that's right. We took a trip to Branson, Missouri with the Otts and the Storicks. And I can remember every morning when we got on the bus, the big question was, what socks is Fred going to wear today? And he had this collection of the most bizarre socks ever. And he would parade up and down the rows so that we could all see the socks he was wearing. And then, much to Ruth's chagrin, we went to some kind of amusement park in Branson. And the end of the day there was this horrendous thunderstorm with lightning coming down. So I had to quickly try to get everybody back on the bus. I get back on to do my count. And Fred and his neighbor were missing. So I had, in the rain, to go back into the park. There's nobody else there. And these two guys are coming towards me to the exit with ice cream cones in their hand, kind of smiling in a pouring rain. And I said, what's wrong with you guys? Where were you? It's like they were apparently on the roller coaster. And the roller coaster had to be shut down because it was so dangerous, because of the lightning. And I said, what possessed you guys? Well, Fred said there were two 16-year-old girls who challenged us to stay on the roller coaster. Well, let me tell you that they never heard the end of that. And Ruth and I had a laugh over that for many, many years. But you know, when I look at the pictures of Ruth, I have other pictures of Ruth from years ago, she never changed very much. And there is, in that glint of her eyes, that sense of spiritual strength, I believe. She really relied on God and trusted Him. There was kind of a confidence in her life, but she was also in a kind of a great way joyous and positive. With whatever happened to her life, Ruth was always able to look at the good side of it rather than to see the negative in my relationship with her over the years. And she was accepting. I know the transfer, the switch from her house, I remember when that happened. That was a hard move, as it is for everybody. But she quickly adapted, and as you read in the program too, she quickly learned everybody's name and became kind of part of that community. But that's part of her personality. She was also, I think, an incredibly wise woman. Again, in all my interactions with her, I don't remember Ruth kind of ever saying anything negative. There was always this incredible positive spirit in her. And I think if there's anything that we learn from one another, that's not a bad lesson to learn. Whenever I do services, I always kind of take away something from people. And I pray that would be one of the ones that my spirit of criticism would leave my body and my mind, because I don't think Ruth had it. It's a great lesson for all of us. But one of the things that was so important to her was her church life and the family here, and the relationships that she developed here that stayed for all of her life. I mean, how many of us would love to live to be 101, right? Or 102. I used to think, as I want to say, I thought 50 was old at one point. I know. And now that I'm creeping up there, I'm kind of going, well, 100's really not so bad. It's, like we could manage that, right? So, but only if we could manage it the way Ruth did. And then Ahi, you came into the family's life a little over a year ago, and what a blessing. I always want to acknowledge caregivers, because that's one of the hardest jobs ever, because you know what the end will be. And you learn to love, and you give love, and you offer it, and then you know you have to say farewell. So thank you for your spirit and your heart.